The heat wave in India continues with no sign of relief in the form of rainfall, and the months ahead look unbearable.
With forecasters predicting record-breaking temperatures for the capital, Delhi.
पहले से बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी है, साल बेलिमिट गर्मी है.
Imagining a life without cooling is very difficult because it's now a part and parcel of everyday life.
You cannot think hospitals without cooling.
मेडिसिन जो भी है विदाउट रेफ्रिजरेशन हमारा काम ही नहीं हो पाएगा.
दिल्ली जैसे शहर में मुझे लगता है कि गाड़ियों में एसी की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है.
दूध हमारा है वो ठंडा रखना जरूरी पड़ेगा, दही ठंडी रखनी पड़ेगी, आपको आइसक्रीम ठंडी रखनी पड़ेगी, पनीर ठंड. क्या आइटम आपको ठंड में न रखना पड़ेगा, मुझे ये बताएं.
Cooling is for all, so everyone needs cooling.
Cooling today has become a developmental need linked with achieving sustainable development goals.
Not having access to cooling has severe economic repercussions.
Cooling is central to our whole developmental process, and this is something that has been addressed by humanity right from the beginning. A lot has changed in terms of how cooling is being looked at now, and I think that's where cooling is assuming a very important part in our society, in our life, and also in the way we are addressing the whole issue of making cooling more green, as they say. Now that the Prime Minister has just announced the 2070 net zero target at Glasgow, sustainable cooling becomes even more critical and important.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
But long before that announcement, India had already come out strongly on sustainable cooling. It was the first country to have a comprehensive cooling action plan covering energy efficiency, cleaner refrigerants, thermal comfort for all, and socio-economic benefits. Sustainable cooling is not a niche area. It covers the entire economy. From our farms to our cold chains, our supply chains, our shopping malls, our hospitals, our schools, our cars, our homes.
In India alone, because of the heat stress that we're facing increasingly, by 2030, data suggests that 34 million jobs are going to be lost because of the productivity losses that accompany heat stress. That's a massive price to pay in a developing economy like ours.
कोल्ड चेन मस्ट है. गवर्नमेंट किसी एक प्लेटफार्म पे गांव के आसपास या कोई नज़दीक शहर के आसपास एक कोल्ड स्टोर बनाए, भी फार्मर जाए अपनी सब्जियां उसके अंदर सेल करने के बाद उसमें स्टोर कर दे, जो उसका अच्छा भाव तो मिले.
From farm to the store, what connects us is the cold chain. 40% of the food goes into waste because of the lack of cold storage in India. An appropriate cold storage in place, it increases your revenue also, and it brings in business. Because your business is growing, you can actually get more staff and more employment.
Jobs are created probably all across. If you talk of automotive, cold chain, huge, transportation, huge, railways, all those jobs get created for cooling, but somehow they are reported in their own industry.
The India Cooling Action Plan clearly underscores that the demand for cooling within India is going to increase 11 times over within the next 2 decades. This massive increase is going to be met by a flurry of new enterprises, technologies, and businesses coming into the Indian market. As they do, we're going to also see a simultaneous increase in the number of jobs that are associated with the cooling sector. The servicing sector, for instance, alone is going to account for 2 million new jobs by the year 2037. Sustainable cooling is central to India's development and to our climate goals. Not too many people realize this.
The Indian industry has the ability to develop competitive products by undertaking R&D and innovation. This should include refrigerant-based, non-refrigerant-based, not-in-kind technology such as district cooling.
So the whole approach has to be one which links technology, with finance, and with the different policy level buckets that are required. And at the end of the day, the implementation which lies not just with the union government, with the state governments, the municipal bodies, and the different bodies that are managing the various complexes across the country, all of them have to be integrated and all of them have to find a place in the stakeholder discussions, and their concerns need to be addressed as well.
Accountability of ICAP. MOFCC is a ministry for the coordination, but there has to be a cohesive unit which has to take care that yes, they are accountable to make sure that other departments or actors who are supposed to actually take action have to do it.
If we want to focus attention on refrigeration and air conditioning, there should be a sector skill council dedicated to air conditioning.
You shouldn't even have to cool a building should be cool to begin with.
We already have energy conservation building code. This code needs to be upgraded so that we reduce our dependence on the HVAC system. And for a country of the size of India, the principal appliance that is providing thermal comfort to people is not the air conditioner, is the ceiling fan. There has to be a big push not only to make fans like an SNL product, but to go for super efficient kind of fans.
Indian government can bring in a sustainable green public procurement policy. I think that is going to make a big change in how more energy efficient cooling appliances are taken up by not only the government but by the public also. This is an area where each and every individual will have to contribute. It's not just the government, it's not just the private sector that can make that change. I think our individual behavior is going to make that difference, which will make cooling more sustainable.
Somehow we have thought that cooling, I think only rich people, or it's a luxury item that I think only few people could have. So this needs to change, that cooling is a necessity so that this can be provided at the least amount of energy, least amount of carbon.
The technologies exist, the aspirations exist. The opportunity to save 0.5 degrees of global warming exist. Which side of the sustainable cooling transition are you going to be on?